All eyes on Ocean City, New Jersey this Thursday night when Bergen Catholic hosts IMG Academy. Wow. And here to talk about it all is Crusaders head coach Vito Campanile. Coach, what's going on, my man?
How are you, Jason? Thanks for having me on.
I'm good. You probably have a little bit of, anxiety, not in a good way. You're anxious. You're probably ready to go starting the season. I mean, Bill Belichick is hyping your game a year out. All you got to do is live up to it, right? So
Yeah, no doubt.
talk to me, man. How are you feeling going into the first game?
No, I think it never gets old. I was saying, my best friend Ronnie Carty is my assistant head coach. We've been involved in football since we're 6. We're going on 50, so this is, I think, season 43 or whatever as a player and a coach. But season 27 as a coach, and it never gets old, right? It's still going to be that same butterfly feeling that you get when you kick off the season. And there's so many. It's amazing how many hours of collective effort
Oh,
go into getting to this point. And
absolutely.
not just from my end, from the entire team and the assistant coaches and the sacrifice of the parents. So when you culminate all that, it's amazing how many thousands of hours go into it.
Oh, I could only imagine. I absolutely understand that. Let me ask you this, because the age old debate: who runs it on the high school football gridiron? And obviously they throw out states. I'm not even gonna say anything because I'm not getting in trouble. But New Jersey, I feel like they kind of get the back end of the top 5 and stuff like that. I feel like there's not as much respect for New Jersey. I don't know how you feel, but I want to know, where do you think New Jersey falls in that conversation?
Yeah, I think like around here, a lot of people take pride, like, oh, best league in the country, this, that, and
Yeah.
the third. I don't, to me, I don't look at it that way. I just look at controlling the controllables, right? And I think year in and year out, that's gonna fluctuate who has the
True,
best talent.
true.
Obviously, for a small state in as far as size, but pretty good. Amount of people that live in our state. I think we do have a great deal of great football teams. I think the
Yeah.
coaching is elite. And I think when you look at it on a national scale, I take a lot of pride in the fact that we've been able to compete year in and year out. And just about every year I've been here, we've been able to play a top 10 team in the country. And most of the time it's gone our way. Obviously, we're playing the benchmark, one of the best teams in the nation Thursday night. And that's really what it's all about. I think a lot of our guys come to Bergen Catholic for that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. What have you guys liked? I mean, it's your first game. What have you liked in the preseason? I know Dom is back under center. You may know him pretty well. Quincy
Yeah.
Porter catching passes. I mean, at a high rate, obviously, superstar wide receiver Quincy
Yeah.
Porter, just originally committed to Ohio State. Talk about what you've liked in the preseason, what you guys coming back.
Well, I think anytime you have it, it almost gets like the NFL context when you have a quarterback that's returning, that's a 3-year
Yeah,
starter. That's huge, especially that he has 2 state championships under his belt. And, obviously, we like to think one of the best wide receivers in the country. I think that's pretty hard to debate, right? Quincy's been an elite player and going
talented.
to
Yeah,
wide receiver U next year. So, I think that they have a great, great chemistry, and they've been able to do some great things throughout their entire career. But on top of that, there's just so many great players in the room right now, and a lot of guys that have been through the trenches. I think that if you look across it's not just about like Division I caliber players. I think from top to bottom, we have just a really competitive roster and guys that really care about each other,
yeah.
guys that have the right value structure, and guys that are going to be laying it all on the line Thursday night, and we hope 11 more times after that throughout the fall.
Absolutely. Obviously, IMG is coming off a loss. A veteran coach like you, I love these perspectives because I get them. They're on all sides of the spectrum. They're coming off a loss. Obviously, no one wants to lose. That's certainly not in your opener. What's your messaging like to your team? Like, is it like, oh, they're coming off a loss, be ready? Or is it like, nah, we worry about us. We're not even worried about them. What is the message?
Yeah, just we watched that game as a staff. I was
Yeah.
pretty bent
Okay.
that they lost.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we
Okay.
definitely was. But at the same time, any given week, right?
Yeah.
It's high school football. They have elite talent. My message to our team was, he woke up a sleeping giant there, right? Don't expect it not to get their best shot Thursday night. But honestly, we've been preparing to get their best shot since we scheduled this game back in
Sure.
February. We know it's a marquee program. We know exactly what it is. And really what we're doing is we went down to Chaminade Madonna last year and we got outclassed. That's the first time we got outclassed, I think, in my career at Bergen Catholic. And we're definitely here to answer the bell. We are definitely not going to flinch. We're going to come out and give everything we have to this opportunity. And we're going to control the controllables, right? And play the best game we could play.
Yeah.
and we need to be the best version of Bergen Catholic, and we can't control IMG. IMG
Yeah.
controls IMG. We
That's right.
control Bergen Catholic.
Understood. Understood. But having watched that game and what you know about them historically, what would you say this year that you want to take away that they do really well? If you had to
I
kind
mean,
of
I
zone one
think
thing.
offensive line wise, they're about
Oh
as
yeah.
good of a. I don't know if you could find a better offensive line in America right now. I
Uh,
mean, those guys are elite level players. They got a couple tight ends that do a really good job rolling in the hole. They do. And then obviously when they get the ball in the perimeter, I mean, they're a big play nightmare. You know, the
right.
quarterback can do with his feet. He showed he could throw the ball about 70 yards in the air. You know, that's
Right.
hard to find. And then, those guys are Ferraris on the outside. So really it's coming to balance, making tackles, making sure that you're in the right run fit. And then obviously tackle, right?
Right.
So we really have to control our toughness. We have to control our conditioning, and we cannot have mental errors. Like if you have mental errors against a team with that much talent, you don't have a chance. So it's really just playing, hard, tough-nosed football, what we're all about, and really getting back to like our core principles of what we are as a team. Being accountable, being tough, and really loving each other, and making sure we leave it all out on the field out in Ocean City.
Yeah, indeed. First game, obviously, coaches have different philosophies with first game, right? It's like, first game, we start, then we have to go with the momentum. However we start, that's how we're going to finish. What's your perspective on first? Do you put a lot of weight on that? Or are you like, no, guys, it's just we're taking it one game at a time?
Well, honestly, we try and find like we go right down the top 20 list. We start calling guys and we try and find the best team in the country that we can play,
Okay.
right? And that's exactly how we do it. Like whoever it is, we're going to try and play those guys. Like last year, I felt really strongly that Dame's team down. I thought Chaman Amadana was the best team in the country. We called them and we got that game. And IMG, I think if you look at them, you're always going to be a top 5 team in the country. So we want that opportunity. The year before that, we went out to Arizona and we played a top 5 team in Saguaro. At that point, they were number 5 in the country. So we played Grayson when they were top 5. So that's really what we're looking to do. We're trying to find out what's the best version of us. We're trying to represent New Jersey to the fullest. And then we're really trying to make sure that we're the toughest football team we could possibly be. And what better way to find that out than playing one of the best teams in the country?
Well said. Well said. Coach, we will all be dialed in on Thursday night. I appreciate you joining us for sure today.
I appreciate you having me. All the best. Thanks for having me.